When my wife, Alara, told me she was grabbing just one drink with her boss. Her voice had that soft, almost innocent lilt she used whenever she wanted me to stop thinking too deeply. She said it was a quick toast, nothing more, a celebration for some milestone project. I nodded, pretending I didn't notice the way she avoided eye contact as she tied her hair into a neat bun. I've always believed that the truth rarely reveals itself in the words people speak. It shows up in the words they avoid. Still, I said nothing. She left around 7 p.m. By 7:15, my phone screen lit up with a short text from her. Already here. Don't wait up. Okay? Might be late. Late for one drink. But again, I didn't argue. I didn't even ask another question. There's a strange kind of power in silence, especially when someone expects resistance and receives calm instead. About an hour later, while I was folding laundry, my phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't Alara. It was her coworker, Mira, someone I barely knew but had met twice at company dinners. She and I were not close enough for casual messages. That alone made my stomach tighten. The message had only 3 words. You should see this. Attached was a video, 24 seconds long. I clicked it. The moment it started playing, I felt something inside me go very, very still. The camera was shaky, the lighting dim, but there was no mistaking the 2 people in the center of the frame, Alara and her boss, Damien. Music thumped in the background. People cheered. Glasses clinked. But my entire focus narrowed on their bodies swaying together. Too close for work friends, too intimate for a toast. Her hands rested on his shoulders like she'd done it 100 times. His hands were on her waist like he knew exactly where they belonged. She laughed, head thrown back, carefree, glowing in a way I hadn't seen around me in months. One drink, she had said, but one drink never stays one drink. One lie never stays one lie. And one moment of truth is all it takes to rewrite an entire relationship. For a few seconds, I just stared at the screen, letting the reality settle like dust in a quiet room. My chest didn't burn. My hands didn't shake. I didn't throw my phone or mutter curses or question my own worth. Instead, I breathed slow, measured, steady. Because sometimes, clarity comes not with chaos, but with calm. If you want this story to reach more people who've ever been lied to with a harmless excuse, hit the like button. It helps more than you know. I replayed the video once more. Not because I wanted to torture myself, but because I wanted to make sure I wasn't misreading it. But the truth doesn't change when you look at it twice. It only becomes sharper. I didn't text Mira back. She'd said enough by sending the video. I simply saved it and placed my phone face down on the table. A strange thought crossed my mind then. When did she stop holding me the way she held him in that video? I tried tracing the timeline. Moments I'd overlooked, excuses I'd brushed aside. The sudden overtime hours. The new team-building outings. The increased attention to her appearance before late work nights. The way she started guarding her phone like it held classified state secrets. Individually, they were tiny things. Collectively, they painted a picture I had tried too hard not to see. She came home past midnight. Keys jingling, heels clicking, perfume still strong. But beneath the sweetness was an unfamiliar scent. Something musky, something warm, something almost touched. She walked into the living room and froze when she saw me awake. "You're still up?" she asked, forcing a smile. I simply nodded. "I thought you said it would be early," I replied softly. She shrugged, loosening her earrings. "Things ran long. You know how work events are." I didn't respond. I just watched her, really watched her. The way she avoided my eyes, the faint redness on her cheeks, the slight shake in her hands. Guilt is loud, even when silence fills the room. She sat on the couch beside me, pretending everything was normal. But the thing about people who lie is they forget that quiet people notice everything. "Oh," she added casually. "Mira was there too. She probably told you we all had a great time." The irony nearly made me smile. "Before we continue, tell me in the comments. Would you confront her right away? Or would you wait like I did? I want to hear your take." I didn't confront her. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse her. I simply waited. Because sometimes the truth doesn't need to be forced. It reveals itself when the liar starts drowning in their own story. And sure enough, the unraveling began the very next morning. The next morning, Alara moved through the kitchen like nothing had happened. She poured her coffee with deliberate care, humming softly as though she hadn't spent hours in someone else's arms the night before. I made my own coffee, keeping my back to her, listening to the subtle sounds. The clink of the spoon against the mug, the hiss of the coffee machine, the quiet tap of her heels across the tile floor. Every noise felt amplified in the tension between us. I sat down across from her. "Sleep well?" I asked, voice calm, neutral, as though the video hadn't existed. Her smile was small, polite. "Yes, work drinks can be tiring." I nodded once. "I'm sure." Nothing more was said. I watched her as she moved to the sink, washed her cup, dried it and put it away. Every action was mundane, controlled, rehearsed. And yet, every motion carried the weight of the previous night. It wasn't in her words. It was in the pauses, the hesitations, the invisible tension that hung in the air. She left for work an hour later, and I didn't follow. I didn't call. I didn't send a single text. I knew that in this silence, I had the upper hand. The truth doesn't need loud declarations. It thrives in the quiet spaces where lies struggle to survive. By noon, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was another coworker. Short message. "Alara posted a story. You might want to see it." I opened it. There she was, smiling at the camera, standing next to Damien, arms brushing. He whispered something, and she laughed. The same carefree, glowing laugh from the night before. This time, it wasn't a shaky camera. It was her own social post. A frozen image of intimacy and disregard. I didn't respond to anyone. I didn't confront her, didn't reply, didn't message. I simply watched. Let the truth settle. It's remarkable how watching someone unravel can feel so quiet. You don't need anger. You don't need shouting. You just need patience and the awareness that actions always outshine words. That evening, Alara returned home again, carrying the faint perfume of someone else. I was in the living room, reading a book I didn't really see, waiting for the inevitable. She noticed the silence immediately, the absence of confrontation. "You're very quiet," she remarked, biting her lip nervously. "I'm just thinking," I said calmly, "about what honesty looks like." Her eyes darted away. "Honesty?" "Yes, honesty. And the small lies we tell ourselves. The ones we think no one sees, but everyone does." She looked down, playing with the ring on her finger. The same ring I'd given her years ago, a symbol of trust now quietly fraying. Type honesty in the comments if you've ever caught someone in a small lie that meant everything. It's a powerful word in this story. I didn't accuse. I didn't argue. I simply let her presence and the weight of her actions speak for themselves. By the time dinner came, the tension had shifted. Not gone, not resolved, but sharpened into clarity. Later that night, I found myself scrolling through the party video again. The laughter, the closeness, the casual betrayal. It hit me differently now. Not with anger, but with clarity. This wasn't about one drink. It wasn't about the moment or even Damien. It was about respect, loyalty, and boundaries that had been silently ignored for far too long. I placed my phone down and exhaled. Sometimes you realize that confrontation isn't always necessary. Sometimes waiting, observing, and letting someone live in the shadow of their own choices teaches more than any argument ever could. Share this story with someone who needs to see that calm strength can speak louder than words. It's a lesson in patience and dignity. The following week, our interactions grew colder. She became defensive, clipped in her replies, careful not to reveal more than necessary. Damien stopped being mentioned at all, as though she thought erasing him from conversation could erase what had happened. But I knew. I always knew. And that knowledge gave me power, a quiet, steady power. One evening, she tried to break the silence. "Can we talk?" she asked softly, almost pleadingly. I paused, weighing my response carefully. I could unleash everything, the video, the lies, the betrayal. I could demand explanations, apologies, emotional labor that she didn't deserve. Or, I could choose a different path. I chose the latter. We can, I said slowly, but only after you recognize what has already happened. After that, the rest is on you. Silence filled the room. It was the first silence that felt like an ally instead of a weight. Comment below, what would you do if you were in my shoes? Would you confront, forgive, or wait for the truth to unfold? Let's discuss. By the time the weekend arrived, I had a sense of clarity I hadn't felt in months. Every action, every laugh, every seemingly harmless lie had taught me something invaluable. Trust isn't rebuilt with words. It's rebuilt with integrity. And when that integrity is broken, sometimes the only choice left is to step back, observe, and allow the consequences to unfold naturally. Like this video if you've ever been in a situation where patience revealed the truth. Comment your take on whether silence can be stronger than confrontation. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories about real-life choices and personal strength. By the time I lay in bed that night, the weight of anger was gone, replaced not with happiness, but with clarity. Calm, measured, unshakable clarity. And in that quiet, I realized something profound. The truth doesn't need to be shouted. It simply needs to exist. And when it does, everyone sees it eventually.